I'm John Mercier. Welcome to our video series. I'm super excited about this. It is a few minutes with Dr. Damon Means. Dr. Means, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You excited about the new school year coming up?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, sir.
How are you and your team getting ready for teachers and students to come back into the buildings here in the district?
We've been working hard all summer. I think that old adage of we take the summer off isn't true here in Wauwatosa. Our Division of Human Resources has been working very hard. We have a 98% fill rate for all of our teaching positions. Yes, so that's a really good trend. The past few years we've had a lower fill rate, but we're feeling really good that we have teachers in place and ready to go. Our buildings and grounds teams have been working really hard to get our schools ready to receive our teachers. We have been working hard to get our playground facilities ready at Washington Elementary School, Eisenhower, and Montessori. And then our Division of Academic Performance has been working really hard to get teacher voice as we develop our curriculum. And they're developing a forward-facing dashboard that will be made live in September. So there's just a lot of things that we've been working on. We're excited about the school year.
A new Teachers Week will be coming up. That's always a big deal, right?
Yes, new teachers. We received them the week of August 21st. We're really excited. We're going to have over 100 new teachers in the district. We're just really excited to bring on this new energy to our school district.
So there will be an opening day ceremony, and then you recognize through Distinguished Service Awards some people. This is a really special thing.
Yes, our Distinguished Educators Award is something that is the highlight for me of our opening day ceremonies, where we bring all of our teachers and staff together to celebrate them and lift them up. And we will lift over 20 of our employees up as exemplary employees and educators who have helped our school district be the very best it can be.
That's fantastic. Talking with Dr. Damon Means. So what's the district's focus this year?
Our theme this year is the fierce urgency of now. You know, John, I was a social studies teacher, and August 28th, 1963 was the day in which Dr. Martin Luther King delivered one of the most important speeches in American history, the I Have a Dream speech. In that speech, he talked about the fierce urgency of now. He was referencing the process of the civil rights movement and the work that was going along with that process. And the Wauwatosa School District, we understand that there's a fierce urgency of now in ensuring that we provide every student with an exceptional educational experience. That's part of our strategic plan. We want to make sure that our schools are safe, that there's academic rigor happening in every classroom, and that we are ensuring and delivering on the promise that we make to every student that they can fulfill their dream as they matriculate through our system.
A powerful speech, a powerful quote, there's no doubt about that. How does it connect to the good work that the district does every year and will be doing this year?
You know, I failed to talk about the fact that this summer our Division of Academic Performance worked really hard in conjunction with our Division of People and Family Supports to develop professional learning, to equip our teachers with the skills and the support that they need to support our kids in the classrooms. So we believe that as a learning institution, that learning starts with us filling the bucket of our educators and really supporting them in a strong way. The theme of the fierce urgency of now is very simple. We have 178 days, give or take, with children. I say give or take because you know, John, in Wisconsin, we may have a few snow days. and so we only have a fleeting moment with these children, and every year is important. And there's a level of urgency that we have to go about our work and to make sure that we are fulfilling our promise to the children and to their families that they are getting the very best service we can provide. And so there's a level of urgency to it, but we want to do it in a very meaningful and strategic way.
You know, I know that the district report card is something you take seriously. I know it's a combination of academics and discipline. How does the implementation of the things you want to do tie all of that together?
You know, the state report card is just one of many measures that we utilize to determine if we're doing well as a school system. But as I referenced earlier, this September we will be launching a public-facing dashboard that measures all of the different components of our strategic plan and it will allow community members, families to monitor how well we're doing as a school system. I think accountability is important, and that accountability starts with the leadership here in our district. We want to make sure that we are performing at a high level, and that performance isn't for score's sake. It isn't for numbers. We know that behind every number that fulfills, it will fulfill the promise for a child. When we are doing well, that means children have more opportunities. And so that's why we're measuring these things. That's why we are monitoring if we're doing well. It's not for the number. It's truly for the purpose of ensuring that children have access to their dreams, to their desires, to their post-secondary pursuits.
I love listening to your passion when you talk about the combination of our kids, our families, and our teachers. A disciplinary framework is also part of what the district is responsible for, right?
Yes, it is. And so this year, what we've done is we've really honed in and tightened up our expectations for behavior. Under no circumstances do we want to have the type of behavior that we saw last year. It's unacceptable. I want to go on record as saying such. But we have more supports in place for students who need those supports. We have also been very explicit around our expectations. And so we know how we will respond if students behave in an unacceptable way. So our behavioral framework is such that we will make sure that every student has a copy of it in our student handbooks. This year we're introducing cell phone lockers. So we're going to make sure that cell phones are not a distraction to young people. If you cannot keep your cell phone on your person and keep it out of the instructional environment, then you have to put it in a locker. So I think we believe that it's really important that we have safe and orderly environments so students can learn and grow.
Dr. Damon Means talking about the accountability that is important in our school districts and here in Wauwatosa especially. So earlier you spoke about some of the roles and responsibilities. Can you talk a little bit about the roles specifically and responsibilities of district administrators versus school administrators versus teachers in the chain?
Sure. You know, as a school system, it's important for us at the district level to make sure that every school has the resources and the support that they need. We've established that through systems that we've developed where if a principal or a teacher needs more resources, there's a way for them to communicate to us where to get those resources. But the day-to-day operations of a school, that rests with the building principal. It's important that our schools are operated well. We have school growth plans that families should track and monitor to see if their school is making progress at their school. But our job at the district office is to make sure that every school has the resources they need, is to make sure that we support our staff with the right materials, and then ultimately the work, the magic of a school is through making sure that the principal, in collaboration with their staff and their families, is ensuring that the school environment is as special as it can be for every child.
So it's almost like the teachers are responsible, they're the troops on the ground, and then the building people make sure the teachers have what they need, and ultimately the district administrators, you and your office, make sure that the buildings have what they need. Is it kind of laid out like that?
Yes, it is. Yes, yes.
How important is that teamwork, that you guys work together? I mean, you're at the top, you set the pace, you're responsible, but to make sure everybody else has what they need.
It's incumbent on me to make sure that there's enough feedback loops and communication where I know and I can hear from our teachers and our principals that they are getting what they need. But the day-to-day work of ensuring that schools are safe, orderly, and that they're focused on academic rigor, that work, the people closest to it are the people who are responsible for it. And so that is, I put a lot of responsibility and I put a lot of faith in our principals to make sure that they are supporting their teachers and they're supporting their students and their families and ensuring that they're fulfilling their school growth plans.
So Dr. Means, if you know you've put the systems in place and you've given your people their tools and everybody's kind of clicking along, how will you know if your efforts are making an impact?
It's what happens on a day-to-day basis. It's in essence, it's like a conductor who sets up and practices with their orchestra. When it's time for the performance to happen, if it's going well. And if you have to make a course correction, then you make the course correction. And there will be times in a school year where we will have to make course corrections. When you're dealing with over 1,000 employees and nearly 7,000 students and thousands of families, there will be circumstances that are unique that we will have to pivot and be prepared to be flexible. That's going to happen. And I think we're prepared for that. But we've also practiced and we've also looked at our structures in a way where those things, when they do pop up and those circumstances do arise, that we are prepared for them. But it's kind of like a conductor. It's like it's a conductor of a band or an orchestra. We will know when the first day of school happens, and every school is functioning the way that we have structured it to move forward. And if it's not structured and functioning that way, we will respond. I think we've demonstrated that when those things are not in place, we respond accordingly.
And you'll analyze the data, right? We're in a data-driven society, and analyzing the data is a big part of it.
And again, I think the analysis of data is not numbers and data points, but I know behind every data point there's a child, and there's a family, and that's showing us how we need to address those situations and get better.
A couple things I want to point out, because you're probably too modest to do it, but last year, bad behavior decreased from semester 1 to semester 2. Gains in math and reading efficiency at your elementary schools. I mean, these things are happening here in the Wauwatosa district, and you keep track of all of that and use that as a tool to help make sure our parents, our kids, our teachers grow.
You know, John, we're really ecstatic about our performance on the Wisconsin Ford exam. Overall, we saw an increase in our performance on the Wisconsin Ford exam, and that's just after 1 year of implementation of our academic program. So we're very proud of it. You're right. We were not pleased with the behavior from certain students in our district last school year, and starting with the second semester. At the district level, we put in expectations that every school was to follow, and those expectations were implemented well by our school administrators, and it resulted in a decrease in the behaviors that we saw the first semester. And we're going to start the school year that way. I would be remiss if I don't say it again. Those expectations, I hope that families and students hear it from me first. Poor behavior is unacceptable here in this district. We are here for academic excellence. We're here for safe schools. If a student is not here for those purposes, if a family cannot support us for those purposes, then this may not be the best fit for you in terms of a school system. We know that we have the right systems and structures in place to continue our upward trajectory as a school system, and we're excited about what we can do and accomplish this school year.
So both the high schools showed an increase in AP activity and how that went. The data shows that the district's clearly moving in the right direction. How do you capitalize on that momentum? How do you make sure that that keeps moving forward into the new school year?
We have to keep grinding. We have to keep working. We have to keep strategically focused. We can't move to the next new thing. We can't get distracted. We have to maintain our focus. And again, I think fulfilling that promise of our strategic plan, that's why the theme of the fierce urgency of now is really important for us.
That's where it comes in, right? I mean, right here on the front lines is where the fierce urgency of now comes in. It's not just a speech from 50 years ago. It's alive. It's living here in the district.
It is. It is. It's, many people will say that education and providing access to a high-quality education is the new civil rights movement of the 21st century. And so I think in the same vein that Dr. King spoke about the fierce urgency of now 60 years ago, we're here today as educators making sure that we fulfill that promise and making sure that every child has an outstanding educational experience.
I love it because you guys are on the front lines of our children's lives. You spend so much time with them every day. And there's so much good going on. Let's celebrate a little success. We're
Yes.
going to do this every time you and I sit down and chat, highlight a couple things that are really good and you're excited about. What do you got this week?
Well, there's two things. So I want to really give a shout out to the Washington Elementary School PTA. They had a fundraiser, and the fundraiser raised over $10,000.
Whoa.
And yes, and that money is going towards Washington Elementary School to make sure that their children have access to a great educational experience. It's going to go towards field trips and other things that they will have going over at Washington Elementary
That's
School.
great.
So I'm really thankful to the positive, proactive, supportive leadership of the Parent-Teacher Association at Washington. So shout out to the parents and the PTA at Washington. The other shout out and celebration that I want to just highlight is that the teacher team and the faculty at Madison Elementary School has been recognized by the state of Wisconsin for their PBIS, or Positive Behavior Intervention Supports, their PBIS system. So we talk a lot about behavior and discipline and having orderly environments. PBIS is a way for us to get those types of environments in a very positive way. We want to make sure that we are encouraging positive structures and supports for students to behave properly. The work that the faculty at Madison have accomplished was so stellar that the state of Wisconsin said kudos and has recognized that faculty. And so I want to just give a shout out to the faculty at Madison and again the Parent-Teacher Association over at Washington. Those are two shining examples of a faculty and a parent association that worked in collaboration with their schools, worked in a positive way. They lifted up and really were positive around what their schools could do. And they're a shining example of what we want to see happen in every school in Wauwatosa.
That's fantastic stuff. Are you excited about having the kids back in the classroom?
I'm so excited. I can't restrain myself right now, John. September 5th will be fun, and we are looking forward to it.
A few minutes with Dr. Damon Means. Check out the district website for information on all the great stuff happening in the Wauwatosa School District. Thank you so much, Dr. Means.
Thank you.